People, Deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all well and safe. Now, I know a lot of you saw yesterday afternoon, last night, early this morning, there's been several movements in relation to contract stuff at Arsenal. Not Bukayo Saka, not Aubameyang, not too much we don't know. Obviously, Dani Ceballos has put together some agreement with Arsenal to see out the campaign before obviously returning to Madrid and doing what he needs to do. David Luiz has signed a new 1-year deal. Cedric Soares, I believe, has signed a 4-year deal. And the same for Pablo Mari, which, you know, we all knew that was going to become a permanent one. Before I forget, I believe it's Arsblog. They done a very good little article of breaking down things, and they've had little good quotes from Raul Sanllehi and stuff. So I'd implore you lot all to check out their thing. But it raised up several points, man. We all know, I don't want to say we're being run by a cartel or anything, but we know the use of agents can be very good. The way Arsenal are using it, it's not been the best, people. Because if you look at it, again, this is all courtesy of the article. I'll claim no credit for this. But if you just look at it, again, Edu himself is an agent, his agent is Kaya Jarupkin. The same goes for David Luiz. The same goes for Cedric Soares. And the only exception is Pablo Mari, whose agent is Arturo Canales, a person who is not only represented Gooner Emre, but is a close associate of Raul Sanllehi. So, you know, when Mislintat was here, we told we're trying to do a strategic approach and stuff, and now he's gone, I can't really see that. We heard Raul Sanllehi talk about outsmarting the market. What outsmarting the market is this? Pablo Mari, we knew he was going to become a permanent. Whether we had the money or funds to complete it in January, I don't know. But, you know, we've signed him, and I believe, he's 26 at this moment in time, so that 4-year deal takes him until he's 30. I believe Cedric Soares is 2 years older than him, so it takes him to 32. Cedric Soares is where I have the issue with. I don't think when he's fit, he's a bad player. But for me, I don't see the point. Obviously, I want him to go and prove fitness and show stuff, and if the club got confidence in him, they got confidence in him. But for me, I don't get it, because he hasn't. We knew he was going to make him a permanent transfer, but, you know, we paid a loan fee to Southampton. We've given him a 4-year deal without actually knowing how good he is. You know, he might get, God forbid, he might have even more setbacks with his injuries. We know he's fit now. The latest one is a nose break, I believe. For him, it's perfect because, no disrespect to Southampton and Arsenal, not Arsenal of old, but he's come to Arsenal. You know, he's going to help us try get Champions League. He's going to play Europa League. Crucially, at his age, he's got that big deal. You know, he's got his future secured at least until he's 32. So there's still the option of returning to his homeland or making a move where there's some more money available. I think if he stays fit, you know, that's a decent backup option / option to fight Bellerin. But it doesn't really give me faith as a fan, because you've committed a 4-year deal to him on top of the loan fee to Southampton if we didn't get him for free, and he hasn't kicked a ball yet, so we don't know if he's going to be a success. So it doesn't smell good for me. David Luiz, I'm not going to sit and be a hypocrite, because prior to the City game, I'm pretty sure most people would have had, myself included, would have had something negative to say about Luiz signing a new deal, but we kind of understand it. Obviously, since then, you know, the stats are there, the errors to goal, the errors he's been making at Chelsea in comparison to Arsenal. Did I even have a stat here? No, there was a stat about, like, he makes a mistake in a certain amount of time, but I'm not, sorry, David Luiz has either been sent off, made an error leading to goal, or given away a penalty every 3.1 games in the Premier League this season. And I think that highlights David Luiz, and I think that highlights as well how poor our defensive structure is, because I'm not backing David Luiz, but why do you think he's got less problems at Chelsea? Because they had a slightly better defensive structure, so he got away with it. There has been some mistakes that I don't believe are David Luiz's fault. 9 times out of 10, he's making these mistakes that you'd expect an untested teenager to make. So to give a new deal, I get it. You know, he's seen as a big character off the field. You know, he seems good with the young players. He's good with everyone. Arteta likes him. I get it. You know, I can understand it. But for me, if we really don't have money and we really have concerns, and considering we spent 24 million in total for a season of his, and we really have to be prudent, it doesn't make much sense to commit Luiz to a new deal. And we kind of need to learn the lessons that we didn't learn with Koscielny and a couple other players, in that when players are aging, go and fix it. Look how long credit to Koscielny, even when he was past his best, 30, 33 or so, he's still a main part of the team. You know, we need to stop doing, for Arsenal anyways, we need to stop doing this sort of thing. We keep man until they've kind of really fallen off, and that's what puts us in these problems, people. And what scares me is that, you know, the club is going to turn around and say to Arteta, you know, you've got Saliba next season, Pablo Mari's a permanent, that's your new centre-half. I hope that's not the case, because you heard we're in for a centre-half, a central midfielder, and a couple of other positions. Right back was one of them, probably not going to do that anymore. Bright news with Leno, if I haven't said it as well. Apparently he's only out for 6 weeks, so he probably missed the rest of this season. But early diagnosis, we were being told it's a year. Now it's 6 weeks. I know which one I would take. Xhaka is back in training, as is Socrates. But Arteta, I don't know if he's playing coy or anything. He was he didn't sound too positive on his prospects of them featuring. Torreira's at least 2 weeks away from training. For me, it doesn't send a good message, because I don't understand how this is outsmarting the market. We're not really utilising... What sort of specific profile of player are we going for in terms of utilising agents? We're not going for these unearthed gems and stuff. We're going for players that, there's situations at clubs they're either being told they can leave or they've got free transfers. And I don't mind a couple of it. I wouldn't mind Cedric Soares if, we invested in other areas. The problem with him and all of these signings is that it screams penny pinching, it screams cutting the corners. And when you cut corners, like you see with Arsenal now, it costs you in the long run, people, really and truly. I don't understand David Luiz being given a new deal purely because, he's told the finances and all of these sort of things. So to give him another sell-on fee, I don't know if there's been any change in his wages up and down. Obviously in line with the wage cuts, doesn't make sense. For Cedric Soares, all he can do is start playing and then we might be able to change our mind. But for me, he hasn't played a game and he's got a reward of a 4-year deal. I know I'd be laughing if I was him and his agents. And it just screams like we're just doing this pally-pally thing with agents. Pablo Mari, we expected him to become a permanent transfer, people. And it is what it is in that regards, people. So we'll have to see what happens, people. I just don't understand how Arsenal, we're a club that talks about video analysis and data, has our own data agency and stuff, and we're not using that to identify players. Like when Mislintat was here, at least it appeared there was some strategy. I'm not saying there's not scouts, because we went and got Martinelli, but it doesn't scream that there's a specific sort of profile we're going from. Obviously, you have to bend your sort of profile you want according to things. Like, I don't mind away from the player, but a 30-odd-year-old David Luiz, or we've been linked with Thiago Silva, I don't mind 1-2 of them shrewd additions. The problem is that this seems to be all we're doing. I give credit, because I can't really turn around and say that when you got Dani Ceballos on loan, you spent 70-odd million on Pepe, but I'm sure most of your fans agree. Or if not, it is what it is in that regards, people. It's a bit scary, but at the end of the day, he signed it. The problem as well, like I said, deals have been signed. Xhaka and Socrates are back. Leno's timescale is 4 to 6 weeks. Pablo Mari is 2 to 3 months. Sadly, it looks like Gabriel Martinelli won't play any part this season, which is sad. I wanted him to play a part of the last couple of games. He's been one of the revelations in a poor Arsenal season, along with Saka, for us, people. And it puts us at a disadvantage, because he's a player that I feel has a lot of potential and could have helped us this season. But apparently he suffered a blow in training, a knee problem. Not sure of what's happened there. He completed a session but reported pain after, and apparently yesterday, which is Tuesday, he underwent a scan, and he's awaiting results, and he's going to see a specialist opinion. Apparently, so yeah, man, he's out for the season. Hopefully we get that one sorted. It's a bitter blow for Martinelli, because he probably has to pinch himself, because he's had a decent season playing for Arsenal and obviously doing his thing. And for Arsenal, it just seems our players are dropping like flies. Injuries has been a big part of this season, but since we've returned, there's been injuries. Maybe that's been because we ain't been playing and really training with real intensity. Maybe this is as a result of the training methods Arteta's implementing, because Klopp had it at Liverpool, Emre temporarily had it here. I don't know if it's that. I'm just giving you a lot of reason, or maybe it's just simply bad luck. But to lose Leno, Xhaka, Martinelli now, and I'm pretty sure I'm missing out some other names, Marie, it is a bit of pill to swallow. But Arsenal, we have to move forward. There's not much we can do, people, really and truly. Quick one, people. Apparently, Mikel Arteta is open to offloading Matteo Guendouzi. When Arteta was rewatching footage and had his back turned, a distracted Guendouzi could be seen messing about and sometimes doing silly dances at a time when the manager wants full focus. And that concerns me, because Arteta doesn't scream like he's militant. You can't be militant really in today's football. Your players need to have a laugh. They need to have a joke. They need to enjoy training and stuff. But there's levels. And Guendouzi, since he's come here, it seems that he is one of the jokers of the bunch, similar to Aubameyang. Aubameyang looks like a joker. He's always busting jokes. Mustafi to a degree as well. But clearly, for rightly or wrongly, them and they know there's balance. And for Matteo, I know he's 21, and he might not truly comprehend the fact that he's a Premier League footballer playing for Arsenal, cusp of France national team on the basis he got called up, whether you rate him or not. He needs to start thinking carefully, because again, when I spoke about this, I said it's perception. He might be an honest lad, but it's perception, and you're hearing people above Arteta starting to have concerns, not actually to do with football ability, it's all mentality. So he's going to need to fix up in that regards, people. In relation to the Mupe incident, he said, in a way I like it, because that means we care about losing and don't accept any defeats. But I like those type of reactions earlier or after the games. Instead of after the game, sorry people. Which is true. You want to see that fight on the field. You don't want to see us, just looking mad bitter. Brighton, we have to eat humble pie. They won. There's a limit. But there is some good in the lad Guendouzi, people. Finally, in relation to Gary Neville's comments about us needing to overrule our defence, and I think it's pretty telling, Arteta said this. He said, at the moment we cannot do anything. At the moment we are playing with the players that we have. My job is to make them as good as possible. And that's true, that's the obvious. There's no window open, he has to move with that. But if I was a player, I would be a bit concerned, and that would make me try a bit in training, because that's my manager telling me, you know what, he's having to use me out of necessity, not because he wants to, and that's going to buck it up. And I think that's one chilling statement from Arteta, because that, to me, I perceive that as passive aggressive. He wants better players, and he might be getting frustrated because we don't know how the market is going to react, but we'll have to see in that regards. But for now, we've spoken about the injuries, we've spoken about the new contracts. People, DG, I'm out.